What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? So, I have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is my banner tape is at the wrong address. So, I can't do the cubes tonight. So, we will do the cubes during the challenge. Oh, hold on, I'm hearing an echo. That's me. Okay, so what I decided to do was something that I see is trending right now, but I haven't seen a mock-up for this product yet. And a lot of people have been asking for a mock-up. You all have been asking for that, but I have not seen one created yet. So I am not only creating the mock-up, but I'm also creating a very quick template for you all. And then, of course, you'll be able to use this tonight in the Craft to Quit program. I will turn this into a template that we can use for Valentine's, Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever you all want to use it for. But for right now, I know that some people are making these literally at the last very moment. And I'll even share with you the links to where I get the tray tops from. And I'll even show you how I won't recreate the mock-up, but I'll show you kind of my process of how I went through this so that we can start creating our own mock-ups if they don't exist. All right, so let's see. Is anyone in the room, have you all made these yet? And if you've already made them, give me a 100. If you plan on making them or you are interested in making them, give me a 1, just so I know where we are. All right, cool, cool. All right, so I will more than likely be making some of these this weekend for the littles, and I'll be having Emma and Levi help me design and create these. So they are very simple. It's something that obviously has gone very viral over the last not even 2 weeks. So I don't think this is necessarily something that even if you don't make it for this Christmas season, I don't think that this is something that's going to die down. It is definitely going to kick up for Valentine's. And for Valentine's, it may even be different sizes. So I'm going to basically be creating the basis of the template, showing you all how I do that and how it also will be a mock-up. Okay, cool, cool. All right, so the first thing I wanted to show you all for this one, what I did, hold on just a moment. I forgot to share this. I'm just letting everyone know in the group that we're live. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, y'all, but apparently we're not getting a lot of the notifications. So I'm doing my best to let y'all know when I'm going live and everything, but it's just not doing what I needed to do. But this is primarily for Craft to Quit so that you all can ask me questions about this is an advanced level type of project. This is also something that you all will need to know how to do, create your own mockups. You've asked me about how to create your own mockups. So yeah, I am early. I just got on. I just got on. So I'm just posting to let everybody know that I'm live. And I did send an email as well. Have you all been in Craft to Quit? Have you all been getting the emails? Do you see them in your inbox? So I know a few of you were saying you weren't seeing your emails. So I want to work on another solution. I'm not sure what is going on. Okay, so I'm working on another solution within the app so that basically we have our own dedicated community. It's like its own version of Facebook, but it's not filtered by any third party. It is literally our platform. And we're probably going to start building on that because I don't know how else to announce when I'm going live or to show you all what I'm working on and the things that you all want to see. So I want to make sure that we don't miss anything there. Check also, especially Craft to Quit, y'all check there's a spam folder and there's also a folder called promo for most of you. Check your promo folder too, because sometimes it ends up in promo because it's not exactly spam, but it thinks that it's basically selling stuff, so it puts it in a promo folder. Let me know if that's possibly where it's going. And just do a quick check for me. Especially before we start this new year, I want to go ahead and get some things in order. All right, all right. So, Monica, you didn't get yours? Okay, it was in your promotions folder. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to promotions folder. And if that's the case, the only thing that you can do is like if you go to the promotions folder, start opening up the Innate Academy emails and then even marking it as important. And you can move it. You can tell it, hey, don't put it in the promotion folders, move it to my inbox. And basically you're training your email filter not to filter these emails to your promotions or spam folder. Okay, went to promo. Okay, cool. Paula, you received yours? Got it. So it's probably a good little mix in. Okay. Well, that is something that I need to know. All right, so let me go ahead and get on to business. All right, so YouTube, I'm letting y'all view this just because this is a popular type of product right now. And I probably won't have time to do a class on it before you all need it because many of you all will be making these this weekend. So I'm just showing how things are going, but I have to answer questions in the Craft to Quit room. So if I promise, well, I am ignoring you on purpose, but I'll be back on at 9 p.m. So I'm letting y'all get a sneak peek. But at 9 p.m. we'll be in our Freebie Friday class, and I'll actually be showing a different project. So I will be able to interface with you all at 9. Okay. This one, Jasmine, no, this is actually me just giving you a sneak peek into the Craft to Quit program. Okay. And we will be doing a class that is what we call a challenge. It'll be 5 days long. It will be starting on, I believe, the 30th, which is Monday. And I know that's the week of New Year's, but what better way to bring in the new year than to get into a really good project? And we're going to be doing a memorial project. And from Canva to AI to Photoshop, then we're going to do a motion banner product, and we're also going to do a mini Automizer. Okay, so it's going to automatically mock up some products. So I'll talk to y'all about that later. All right, so this is just kind of like something that popped up that a lot of people ask about, so I wanted to go ahead and address this. So first, I want to show you how this started so that you don't think it was magic. You know the effort that goes into it. So I'll go ahead and pull up right now my downloads folder. This is literally the image that I took. Photo, just make sure it had some lighting above it. And I actually intentionally let it have a little light. I just didn't want the reflection of my phone in there because I wanted it to kind of look like it had a little light bouncing off of it so you would believe that it's a real product. You believe that, you know, these snacks are encapsulated in this beautiful shell here. And if you all remind me, I'll give you the link to that product. I got it off of Amazon, and it may even still possibly be able to get to you all by tomorrow. I don't know. Mine said that it could get to me by tomorrow, but things may have changed by now. Okay, so I'm dropping that in the chat for you too, if you are interested. Well, thank you, Ernie. It's magic because you all need it. I promise if you didn't need it, I'll be over here poking around and procrastinating. But whenever you all need something, it gives me this really intense energy to create. All right, so I dropped that link for these pans here. And they're 8x8. They have a 20 pack. They actually have a 50 pack that is less per container. Just wasn't sure what you all needed to get started with this project. So they end up being about, this particular set is like $1 per top, but there are some other ones where you can get a bigger quantity for less than $1 a top, somewhere around about 50 to 60 cents per top. But like I said, that's just a quick link that I have there. You all can see what will get there to you. Now it says it won't get there till Sunday, which is the 22nd. But basically, you could go ahead and have all of this other stuff set up if you can't find the lids locally, which a lot of people are having problems with. All right, so I showed you what it looked like when the photo came in. I did a little bit of warping so that basically, let me turn this sound off because I know it's probably a little annoying now. So that basically, I'll go into it just to show you what it looks like. Now, I did have to warp this in order to get it to be inside of a square because, you know, when we take a photo, we're never really on top of it straight. So I did have to warp it to get it like that. And let me give you an example of what I did here. So that's the image. I just went around the image here, did Control J. Control J is going to make a copy of it without all that extra stuff on the outside. And then I'll just call this my lid start. So I guess I am going to show you how I did this. Lid start. And then let me go ahead and duplicate that layer. Put it on the tree card. All right, so that's how it came in. Now I want you to see I started with an 8x8 square. I'll put that on top and turn it on. Now the way that I created this 8x8 square, and let me just, I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to show you how I did it from scratch. Why not? It won't take me that long now that I've done it. So when I just click with the square, it's going to ask me what the size is. So I'm going to say 8, and I have to put in inches, otherwise it's going to do pixels. So I have to put IN for inches, and I just hit OK. All right, so that's going to give me a square, of course, with square corners. And then what I do is I'm going to put it up top here, bring the opacity down just a little bit, and then I'm going to turn off everything else right now just so you can see exactly what I'm working on. All right, so here is rectangle 1. Now you see how my container itself is not quite straight, it's a little bit skewed. So what I did here was went to my product or my layer, go to edit, transform, and I'm going to warp it. Now first I want to make sure, before I warp it, I want to make sure that I'm almost to the very edge wherever I can be. So I want to be inside the edge, but I want to be as close as I can to the edge with my product. And I'm looking at the purple here. All right, so I'm meeting the edge up top. I'm hitting the edge right about here. But I have a little bit more to reach here. So it's not exactly straight, but I'm gonna just, you know, finagle and finesse it a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit my check mark there to lock in that transformation. Now I'm gonna go to transform and distort. And I'm just going to kind of pull on it a little bit until I feel like it is lining up along these edges. And I want it to be parallel with the square that I have here. Now, this is not the only way to do this, but this is the way I thought of doing this today when it was a last minute decision to do this mock-up. All right, so that's about it right there. Okay, cool, cool. Now in Photoshop, you can start with a square, but you'll notice there are these little circles in here, which represent basically rounding these corners. So what I like to do is keep my original. I'm going to duplicate the layer. And on my duplicated layer, I'm going to come to one of these little circles and I'm just going to pull it in and stop. And you notice it started rounding here. Now, my whole goal is to pull it in enough to where it naturally looks like it is the edge of this top here. And I'm about there. And keep in mind, this is my art project. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want it to be a good representation. It does not have to be a perfect representation. It's a mock-up. I just want it to be a good representation. Now that I have this rounded edge here, it looks almost perfect. Now what I can do is go ahead and control click on that thumbnail here. And then I'm going to select the lid layer and just go ahead and clean that edge up. Okay. So that is how I started this thing. Now, of course, there are some properties built in here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn everything back on now so you can see. But after I did all of that and created this little clipping mask here, I also changed some of the properties. So on this particular layer here, let me pull it out a little bit so you can see what the name of it is. That's the bottom layer. This is the top layer. So for the top layer, what I did was I decreased the opacity to only 39%. So this is what the top layer does. I'm going to take off the top and the bottom layer, just so you can see. So if I don't have anything on, you just see this little outline here. But once I put the top layer on, my blend mode is on luminosity. Why? Because I want it to look like clear plastic. So when I tell you all not to be afraid of blend modes, just to really play with them, I chose luminosity for this one because luminosity is going to bring out the highlights and the shadows. Okay, so it kind of makes it look like there is clear plastic above this. Now the opacity is set at 39%, but if I crank it all the way up, that's what it looks like. If I bring it down all the way, that's what it looks like. You barely can see it. So at 39, I felt like that was a good representation. And then underneath the snacks, I have another version of this. And notice that they're linked. So if I move one, it's going to move the other. So underneath this layer, it still is a blend mode, but this one is only 26% opacity. And it just kind of helps to build that little bit of that cloudiness because it's not completely translucent. It is a little bit cloudy. So I wanted to represent that here. All right, so that was how I created the mock-up of this top here. This is the 8x8 size, Cheryl. But you could also do this. I saw other people doing like a 5x5 size. If you tell me what size is. So this is like a 8x10 with a 5x5 tray. I'm going to further develop this so that you all will have this variation. We'll do it as a class together. But some of you all, like I said, you may need to work on that this weekend. I will be working on these this weekend for the little ones. So I figured if I was going to work on it, I might as well let you all have early access to it. Let me know what you think, and then we'll turn this into a Valentine's template. If you have an 8.5x11 printer, so technically, I believe you could put, of course, you could put an 8x8 on there. It's just you're only going to have 1/4 of an inch all the way around and only about 2 inches at the top. So I don't think that an 8.5x11, or maybe if you did an 8.5x14, you could get a little bit of, maybe you get a little bit of this on there, but I would suggest if you're going to do an 8.5x11, then do the 5x5. top. Okay. And I did find a couple of suppliers for that too. I do have, I think it's like 4.7 by 5. So, so I'll play with that one as well. All right, but this one was probably one of the most common sizes that I saw. Yes, the half ornaments, absolutely. So the whole idea is that once I show you how I did it, right? If you go take a picture of a half ornament or you go take a picture of your 5 by 5 tray, because your tray may look different than my tray and maybe you want to represent it accurately. And if that's the case, then I want you to be able to do exactly what I just showed you. Literally make your own topper to this so that it makes sense for your project. All right. Okay, so Shell, you don't know how to print it. Now, this is a thing that I was doing, and I was actually setting this up for Craft to Quit because I wanted us to have this discussion before we got into talking about making cubes and accordion walls and all of that stuff for events. I wanted to understand what print methods you all are using and suppliers you're using. Yep, I got the hamburger containers too. Oh, awesome. TQ, you sell them at the flea market tomorrow. Your coworker already bought too. Yes. Okay, so CVS and Walgreens, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over like I said, this is, Craft to Quit. This is our business strategy session. So I want us to talk numbers. I want us to talk business. So yes, this is a template. You can flip it out and all that good stuff. This is actually template 244, like elements of template number 244. And then it also has elements from, oh geez, what is this one? So you remember we've been doing all of this great work with our AI artwork. This is all AI artwork. So this was my 288 Grinchy Boba. I could bring in my 289 Barbie and change those out, the foreground, background. You all could get creative with this. I don't want you to feel limited. I want you to actually keep this simple. Okay, so by keeping it simple, I just have a foreground and a background. I have the word Merry Christmas and I have a name on here. Everything else is pretty much the same. Santa approved, 25 of December. Uh-oh, what's going on? If you do decide to make this 11 by 17, so I made this one 11 by 14 just in case you all are going to get this printed at CVS. They have a deal right now where you can do same day. I don't know if they're honoring it, but same day here. I'm going to give you all my little links here. So it's a 11 by 14 board and they have 60% off right now if you use a code. And I believe that's until the 28th. So I have this, I'll share this document with you all in Craft to Quit. Customer happiness, if we have a working document for tonight, or if not, can you start a quick one? I'm just going to give everyone this link in the chat. And this is where we're going to be working on doing our pricing and our sourcing for our large format projects so that I'm going to show you how you can use CVS and Walgreens and that sort of thing. But I also want to show that you can partner with print companies and really get your work dramatically down when it comes to the cost of goods sold. Okay, so we'll talk about that. We're building up on that. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. All right, so now you all can kind of see what I'm working on right now. All right, cool. So for this one, and sometimes it's a little weird to see how this works, to see, oh, this is offer ends 12/21. So if you all are going to take advantage of the 60% off, do it tonight. So this is technically, this board print falls in the category of the decor. So the way that I found it, I went to show more and I took off all of the check marks and then I sorted it by bestsellers. And then the full photo board happen to pull up. They also have these little templates. I didn't want to fool with those. So the 11 by 14, most of you all will have a same day pickup if you're in a major area or in an area that has a in-house printer. So you can check the availability. You can put in like your zip code, and you can see if there is one that would allow you to pick it up there. If you choose it, it will also tell you the quickest time that you can pick it up. And some of these places are open 24 hours, and it'll tell you you could pick it up. Like yesterday, it told me I could pick it up at 4 o'clock in the morning as the earliest. I wasn't banking on that, but it was nice to know that that could have been a possibility. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. That 11 by 14. Now this would already be mounted on the foam board, so I would not have to do anything to it. It won't be $16 or $17. It would be, let me go ahead and I'm gonna take this whole thing here and just do a quick export. Now technically I don't want to export it with my mockup on there, so I'm gonna take my mockup and my treats off. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to name this one Turn Off for Printing. Okay, so I would print this with this outline on it because this outline just helps me to understand where I'm going to paste this. This topper whenever I'm ready, but everything else is good to go. Now you do have to imagine that stuff can get cut off. So for instance, my photo is a little close to the edge here. Instead of trying to make it so big, just scale it down a little bit so you don't lose so much. Same thing with the text here. If I feel like something can possibly be cut off, it is safer to just go ahead and rescale it. And let me see what's going on with this font. Did I install it? And I also had this set up for 11 by 17 if I'm printing it myself. So I will be printing mine myself. I'm thinking about testing this out by maybe printing a couple of them with the CVS just to see what the quality looks like, what the board looks like, etc. So it depends on if I get my stuff done on time, y'all. So I'm gonna go to this banner and name. Let's shrink this down just a little bit here. Pull that down. All right, and this is an AI character. This is all of the text here is templated, so it's all editable. You can change out the background. The background is AI. All of this is, you know, things that we've been working on for the past few weeks. Some of this even a year ago, we worked on some of these images. Oh yeah, Ventrisa. That's why I want to. I'm giving you all. I'm basically going to give y'all a rough draft. Y'all know I don't like giving y'all rough drafts of my products, but I'm going to give Craft to Quit the rough draft of this one, just in case you need it for Christmas for this weekend. But I just want to clean it up, make sure that it has the different sizes that you all might need, so that you can do it for Valentine's, birthdays, all of that good stuff. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this in the back end of the Craft to Quit resources. It's not going to be a class yet, because I want to, like I said, I want to clean it up. I want to tweak it. But sometimes when stuff pops up, you got to pop out and show them. Okay. So this also will be a t-shirt template. So y'all will see that it'll have like the 13 by 19 layer mask in there and all that good stuff. All right. So if it is, I'm over here stalling because I'm like, what else do I need to do? I'm going to move this name down just a little bit. And then I want my banner name to be on top of. Yeah, so then that way, if the plastic is on top here, it's just layering a little bit. You know, I like my stuff to touch so it looks like it is layered. All right, and then before I get going, let me see, does my accent 2 and 3, does it have a drop shadow? It does not. So I'm going to add a little bit of drop shadow. And I want about the same amount of shadow that's on this text right now. So let me grab the text here. I'm going to copy the layer style. Boom, boom. And then I'm going to paste the layer style on here. Well, I'll just paste it on the snowman first because I'm going to have to take the outline off. Okay, all I really want is the drop shadow. So I'm just going to double click on the effects and turn everything else off but the drop shadow. I mean, it's kind of cute with the outline too. What do y'all think, Craft Quit? Outline or no outline? Sometimes y'all cutouts don't be clean enough to do outline, so that's why I don't always do outlines. What do y'all think? Outline? Of course, it makes it pop. Okay, so now what I can do is I can copy the layer style from the gingerbread man. So I'm gonna right click, copy layer style, and then I'm gonna paste it on the peppermint. Make sure my peppermint looks good enough to have that little pop too. And what's gonna happen is, remember, I'm gonna end up putting the wrong one. Let me close up some of my folders here. All right, so it will have the clear packaging over some of these graphics, but I wanted it to be bold enough where it popped out still. Okay. All right, so that looks good. And of course, if you all want to put in whatever treats you want to put in, you just go inside of this folder. Like there's some Lay's chips right now, and let's say you want to put some, airheads in there. Doo-doo-doo. And I'm just looking for like a single one. I don't know if that's going to be a great image. That one looks okay. I'll right click, go to open image in a new tab. I like to do this first. Make sure it's decent enough quality. Right click, save image as. I'm going to put it in my downloads for right now. And then I can drag this right into my Photoshop. Now, usually it's going to have a background on it. This one just happened to be a nice little PNG. That very rarely happens. Y'all know the deal. So, of course, you'll have to size these accordingly. But this just kind of lets you see that you can layer them. And if you wanted to, we could go ahead and paste that layer style. And then, so we get that little drop shadow. I'm going to take the stroke off of this one. And then copy layer style, select all three of them and paste the layer style at once. So on Canva, you can only copy the layer style and paste it to one product at a time. I like in Photoshop, I can select 20 things or a group of things and I can put the layer style in there. So now it looks more believable. It looks like my stuff is kind of stacked on top of one another. Looks like it's underneath the plastic, all of that good stuff. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because my whole point was to show you all why I had things set up the way that I did. Now we're ready to send it off. Let's go ahead right up here at the top, quick export as PNG. And I'm just gonna right now just put it in my downloads. And then this one is gonna be Poppy Grinch. All right. Now let's see what I'm working with over here. So I'm going to hit Get Photos, go to my computer, select Photos, and grab this from the download. And then I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't have my mockup on it. I only want the printable version. Let's say the jumbo size. So the reason why they were calling this jumbo is because it's like an 11 by 17 type of card. This one is 11 by 14. And you see these little dotted lines here. So this is what I have to start teaching you all about doing, drop shipping printing, large format printing. This is called your bleed area. Okay. You want your image to go outside of this area. What you don't want to be outside of this dotted line is any text, anybody's face, like the top of somebody's hairline you don't want being cut off because then that looks funny. You definitely don't want to cut through anybody's eyes. Anything important you do not want in your bleed area. Okay. So for me, anything that's here, I'm okay with losing. Even just a little bit of his arm is okay. All right. But if it was something like one of my letters, it could spell something totally different if you're missing a letter. Okay. So I just want you all to be aware of that. So it's giving me a warning. Items outside the dotted lines may not print, and that's perfectly fine with me. And it came in just perfect. So if I want to go ahead and purchase this, you see I can use this code here, which is Decor60. If I copy that code, this is supposed to be a $17 board. Now here's my thing. If I'm doing a lot of these boards, and a lot meaning, hey, if I'm doing 10 of these boards and I can have them professionally printed and nice and neat, and I'm not fooling with doing layups, I already have to assemble the treats and everything, then I may consider this. It just depends on whether I be tiling and piecing things together. So I have a 13 by 19 printer that prints with the dye ink, like regular dye ink, and then I have one that prints with pigment ink. So either one of those are not sublimation set up, but they can print these 11 by 17 images. And I do happen to have some glossy paper, but the glossy paper, I would have to spray adhesive it and tack it to a foam board, cut the boards, etc. So I'll see tomorrow, depending on how much of a Christmas elf I feel like being, if I'm going to hand make these or send these off to CVS and see if they don't disappoint me. All right, so let's see if I stick it in my cart. I'm going to go to the cart, put in that code there, and I just want to show you all, I believe, so if you put in the code, hit apply. It's not just for one product. If I put in 10 of those, it's going to give me that 60% off of even 10 of those. So if that was going to save me some time, some effort, some energy, and some ink, then I might just go ahead and send that off. It's going to be on the board and everything. I don't have to fumble and fool with it. What we're going to do today, let's see, we got a little bit of time here. So I'm showing y'all the design, but really what I'm talking about is the business principles. I use the design to reel y'all in, and then we get an opportunity to talk about some business, okay? So I do want to show you all when it may or may not be worth it to even have things printed by a third-party printer, or it may or may not be worth it for you to print it at home. Okay, so we'll go over that in just a moment. And any questions that y'all have, just let me know. All right, so let me go back and to say, just showing you that. That's why I say I may just have these printed and see how they turn out. So then I can focus on creating my AI characters, because you remember, and I think this is going to be super cool for the kids too, because they'll be able to collect these. Let's see, the class that we did, it was AI class 49. Y'all remember? And then we did backdrops. We did different characters. So we did like some Barbies, we did some Funko Pops. So we'll figure out basically, we even have some of these older servers where it has like anime. So some of the kids are into anime. Some of them are into like Legos, Roblox, Minecraft, and we're going to create characters that look like them. So then this present feels very, very personal, but it is very inexpensive. Okay. So you're talking about $1 for this clear lid. If I get them to make it, about $7 for the foam board plus the print already adhered to it, where I didn't have to touch it and get no bubbles and no wrinkles and line up just perfectly and cut it just perfectly. So I didn't have to do the labor for that. So for under $10 for this setup, and of course you're filling it with treats, and most of the time they're going to be treats that are about $10 or under. So this having personalized characters, it'll be something that they want to keep for a long time. Cheryl, it has the ability to change it. I thought I gave that to you all. So let's see if anybody else has that same issue, because I could have swore, even if it wasn't the 2024, 2025, I gave y'all like an editable version of that. But if not, just let me know, because it's about time to update that one anyway for graduation. And if I update it for you, everybody else will be happy to have that updated as well. You're talking about the 125 3D? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll check on that.
I purchased it. I didn't get it out of Craft Quit. I purchased it before I got into Craft Quit,
So
and I've been trying to do it and it wouldn't do. So
okay.
I didn't know if it wasn't able to be changed or you had to redo the whole
It may
thing.
not have been, because that was one where I was working on creating a 3D text. So, and we're actually going to talk about 3D text today during our 9 p.m. session. So, if it's not, then maybe it's time for me to make that 3D text effect available to you all. All right, so I'm just going to quickly flip this one out just so that you all see how you can use this. It's really simple. It's just like any other template. Y'all know the 5-minute template flip. Let me go ahead and save this version right here. And then I'm going to flip it one time, make sure everything works for you all, and then y'all will have this resource. Now, if you plan on doing like the 8x10 version, I haven't set that up yet, but if we have time, then I'll set that up during the Craft to Quit session so you can see how I would resize it and everything. Okay. And then I don't want to resize these things. So this is going to be how it creates your, you know how I make master files for you all. So I'm going to make this one into a master file. The previous course was not a master file. So this will automatically create all of your PNGs that you need, even to bring it on into Canva. So I'm going to show y'all how I bring my stuff into Canva and why I use Canva. All right. All right, so this one here. And I like for my colors to be 12 by 12. So I am going to resize these. Control T. All right, so if I want to resize and it has the percentages up here, I'm just going to type in inches. And I want to break. I do not want it to keep the aspect ratio because I want this to be a 12-inch by 12-inch. That makes me happy. I like for my color swatches when I export them to be square. All right, so this is going to be color 2, PNG, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, Control T to transform. It doesn't have my aspect ratio locked, so my height's going to be 12, and my width is going to be 12. And then I'm just going to take these two, select them at the same time. I'm going to center them both horizontal and vertical. Then I'll select the whole board and center them here. If it's cut off at all, it will actually cut it off in your master file, in your assets. So I like for my assets to be good, clean, the right size and all. And then let me just make sure that these are on normal color mode, and then I'm going to turn them off. All right. Same thing with my images here. I want to make sure that these export because these are basically going to be the basis of my Automizer. That's why it works the way that it works. So if when I'm designing, every single time that I'm designing, I'm pretty much giving myself this clean slate of exporting all of my elements, then I can use them inside the Automizer. I can use them for instance, inside of my Canva when I am creating. This is 2, are we on 295 right now? Let me show y'all how I do my little thumbnails. Stop playing with me, Canva. Here we go. I'll pull it over here. So even when I'm making my thumbnails, and I don't spend a lot of time making videos, y'all. My nephew likes to make videos. I don't. I just make them for the sake of actually just having to make them. So when y'all see me do These videos, they're made right here in Canva. I use a little bit of CapCut as well. But all of this stuff is a combination of Photoshop, Canva, and a little bit of video editing with CapCut. But these little things down here, they move, they wiggle around and all of that good stuff.
This Friday, let me show you how to design like a pro from home.
See?
Using AI, Photoshop, or Canva, I'm going to show you live how to use these tools to create professional.
All right, now I don't know if y'all could hear that, but I'm just giving you an idea of how all of this stuff works together. Okay, so my Automizer gave me all of these beautiful mock-ups, and then I bring them into Canva to create like a little bit of a motion video. So yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do for these, Control T, I'm gonna make these, I am gonna lock the aspect ratio for this one, and then I'm gonna make these 12 as well, so that they export the proper size. Control T. And this is literally what I do for y'all to get y'all's stuff ready. I don't know if y'all appreciate everything that goes into how I prep files for you all, but it's definitely a lot of love and a lot of thought. Now, usually my photo, I make that one 12 by 18 because sometimes you have like shoes that you want to show and you have a tall character, but usually my accents, I make them 12 by 12. All right, all right. And of course, these are all turned off so we don't see them. And that's why I put it in a folder that says do not resize. I don't want y'all resizing these. This is going to be what basically helps us build our projects down the road. If you resize these, you may not get the high quality that you want. Okay. All right, so of course we can resize these and move these around all we want inside the template. But when I have a folder that says do not resize, please do me a favor and don't resize those. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and save this as it is right now. And let's see what we can quickly flip this out to. Do a little peek. What haven't we touched in a little while that would be good for? We have our polar bear. We have our Bratz version. We have our Barbie's version. Like we could literally flip this. Let me see. I didn't plan on flipping this. I didn't even plan on making this file tonight. So let me save this one as Grinchy. And this one was, what was this class number? Grinchy was 288. So I just used the elements from 288. And now I'm going to, let's go with 289 Barbie. Let's see how that rolls. So for that one, I'm just going to pull up my 289 Barbie. Really, all I need is my foreground and background to make this truly work. Let's see how fast it goes. So foreground here. And I just need to change out my photo. So I'm looking for photo 1. Photo 1's right there. My beautiful Barbie girl. And then I'm just going to turn off the layer underneath. This is an editable template. It's not the Automizer, so we can kind of have layers. I just don't want y'all to get carried away with these layers. And this one, let's see, this background, I think I already pulled it in that pink snowflake background. Yep, so I have my pink snowflake background. What I'm going to do is turn off the coloring and see that covers just that little, this is the indicator where you're going to put your clear piece there. And I'm going to bring that also down into this background area. And then because it's not covering the entire area, I'm just going to make it larger. And now for this one, color 1 and color 2 needs to be adjusted. So color 1, I can duplicate that layer. And then I'm just going to drop my color 1 in here. because I already had it selected, so I don't even have to color pick. Beautiful, and then color number 2. I'm just doing this to save a little bit of time. Normally, I would pick my colors. Y'all know how we do in class. All right. All right, and then this way I could decide which colors I want where. Do I want a little gradient? Do I want to kind of fade this up from the bottom here? And I think I do. Yeah, I want to fade this one up from the bottom so I get that little darker pink down there. And I'm going to use my brush tool, brush across the top up here. Yeah, I think I like that. Make my brush a little bit larger, brush across the top. And then I'm going to bring the opacity down just a little bit. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, my little accents. I can change out my accents because why not? So accent 1, what was I using for this one? I have my ornament here. I'm going to save that, close it down. And then accent 2 is this gift here. Or I could have used my embroidery images. It's fine. I'll just use my gift here. So I'll take my gingerbread, flip that out. All right, there we go. Okay, and then if I want to see how everything looks with my clear top on, I'm going to get rid of these pieces here because I just did those to show you all. I already did the work, so we don't need to keep that in there. I'm just going to call this Mockup. If I can spell Mockup, clear. I just put Mockup top. That way I remember where that is. All right, so that's how that would present. So you all could flip this as many times as you want. So now I can save that one as 289 Barbie-ish. This is not Barbie. We made that in AI, remember? All right. And then let me flip it maybe one more time just to make sure everything flips well. Let's see. Do we have one that we can flip for a boy? Let's do the blue bear. So that one was 291 blue bear. All right, so I'm going to flip this one more time. Let's do the colors. Color number 1. Now this actually, I believe, takes up a little more space on the file than how we traditionally flip our colors in class. So like I said, because it's already here, I'm just kind of going a little quicker through this process. And this really wasn't like a template flip class as much as it is just showing you how you could develop your resources. Now, what I could do, I don't need to bring this background in again just because it's blue. I can just turn on whichever color I want to recolor that image. And let me turn off the mock-up for just a second. Same thing with this background back here. You see how that blue just automatically recolored that pink background? I do have a blue background here, but when I recolor it based on my theme colors, I don't have to worry about, see how this blue is a little more teal. If I wanted to match my theme, it's ready to go. Let's see here. I like the brightness of that one. And then I want to change out my accent 1 and 2. So here I'm going to check accent 1 is a little snowflake. Boom. turn that off, save that and update. And then accent 2 is what? Remember we made the alphabet letters with the images attached to them? Y'all, I gotta tell y'all, you all have been crushing it making your stock art every single week in AI class. I go in those servers and I do my projects. The projects that I have that I've been working on, for a lot of them have been for celebrities or very very high level entrepreneurs. And I have literally been using the same stuff that I'm teaching you all. As a matter of fact, some of your upcoming classes, some of your past classes have been from projects that I just did. So people paid me money and I was like, hey, since people are willing to pay me money to do this, I want to make sure that I'm teaching you all what people are paying me to do, not just, kind of bopping around and giving you something to do. I want you to be very, very skilled and have high earning potential. All right, so boom, that's it. If I want to change out the text there, let me see, do I have this font downloaded? So now I can put Levi with 2 L's. That's not how you spell it. All right, and see how it automatically goes on the art there. So that is good to go. Ready. Let's see what it looks like with the mockup turned on. Cool, cool. Everything looks good. So we just flipped that 3 times, and then I'm just going to save that as 291 Blue Bear. So now you're understanding, hopefully, I don't just design just to make things pretty. I design like an engineer because I want you all to have a system to how you create. I want you to have a system to how you make money. I want you to have a system to how you charge for what it is that you do. Because now you know, hey, if I just have 2 accents, a photo image or a main subject image, which here is the polar bear, it's not a photo, and a simple background, maybe just changing out the name. So I didn't even change out the Merry Christmas. I left that, right? Doesn't that make it so much simpler to flip? When you tell somebody, hey, you can change Merry Christmas to whatever you want. You can change the name here. I can add 12 pictures instead of 1 picture. When you give people all these options, then you end up putting yourself in a position where you may be doing way too much work for that little bitty, probably not even $20 design fee, because I know most of y'all are not charging. Yeah, at least I told you a minimum $20 design fee, right? How many of y'all, tell me in the Craft to Quit room, how many of you all are charging your minimum $20 art fee? Go ahead, just tell me the truth. Give me a 1 if you've been charging it. Give me a 0 if you have not. Okay? And you can give me a 1 if you've been building it into the price of your products. And by that, I don't mean charging them $1 for the product because you're charging them $20 for the design. Like when I say building it into the price of the product, for instance, if I'm doing a graduation stole, I build in the design into the price of the product unless they want more than 2 photos. If they want more than 2 photos and 1 logo, then I charge $5 per image that I have to update. So if you want a basketball, a football, 12 photos collaged up in there, I'm charging $5 for everything over 3 images, period. No, Tina, we're not starting at 8 p.m. every Friday. 8 p.m. is my Craft to Quit. I was just doing a project that I know I don't have time to make a class for. So this project is going to be something that a lot of you all are working on this weekend. So I'm going to give this template to Craft to Quit to play with for tonight. But I'll clean it up tonight and I may make it for sale for you all if anybody really wants to go ahead and get started on this one. Otherwise, it'll be available for Valentine's, Mother's Day, all of those good holidays as well. Okay. I think this will really be good for party favors, not just for like the birthday person, but party favors to give to the guests for birthday parties as well. Okay. Yeah, so y'all get a bonus session. We're still gonna do 9 o'clock tonight. Okay. This is actually a whole nother project. This is what we're working on tonight. We're working on Memorial because we have this challenge coming up on the 30th. Let me close down some stuff, y'all. Y'all know how I am. I'm over here working on all kind of stuff. Let me save my little treat card. So we did flip it 4 times and everything worked out. So that works. Let me see, I got 5 minutes and then I have to switch over to the YouTube side. But I think what I'm going to do with this is, I'm thinking about how I want to change this because some of you won't have a 5x5 tray. Some of you will have like the 4x5 or some different sizes. So let me think on this 8x10 version. Technically, you can change what's here. So this is the 11x14 version. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the title. So this is the 11x14. It also is 11x17. If you want the 11x17, just turn on. Let's turn off this layer mask. It's actually 13x19 now. So see how it has like this extra stuff down at the bottom that could work as well. All right. So I'm saving that, and then I am going to meet everyone. We have our 9 p.m. session, so I'm going to close out of this session. We're going to go ahead and open up our 9 p.m. session on YouTube, y'all. So I will see y'all in just a second. Crafts to quit. Let me make sure y'all didn't have any questions. Where did it go? Okay, so so how do you adhere? You can do glue. You can use hot glue, but make sure you use a low temp hot glue gun. If you use the regular temperature hot glue gun, you will melt the plastic. That little area right here, it will melt and it will look nasty. So you can go find a dual temperature one, or you can just have a low temp one and a high temp. It's a very inexpensive, maybe at the most $5 to $8 for a low temp glue gun. You can find those at Walmart. You don't even have to go like to a specialty store or Michael's or anything like that. Just look, it'll say low temp on there. And usually it's good for kids to use that one too, because it's less likely that they're going to burn themselves. How much to charge for these? That is a great question, Chantal. That is something I wanted to get in with you all. So let me know, what are you charging for these? What have you been seeing people charge for them? Because I have a problem. I really do. The only reason why I'm making these is literally because they're gifts. I would not, personally, I would not make these. I'm not the party favor, get excited about hand making things, but that's just me. I like the digital side of things, okay? But some people, that's their therapy. They really do love making party favors. So if that's the case, I just want to make sure that you are paying yourself not only for your cost of goods sold and doubling that minimum, but also the labor that you're spending. So for instance, I may not print these. I may have these printed by CVS. And if that's the case, I want to make sure that labor that I'm saving myself is worth the price that I'm going to be paying for this. Right. I've seen 20, and I haven't seen the $50 ones, but the bigger that tray is and the more jumbo the card is, definitely I would be charging more. Because if y'all think about it, that foam board was supposed to be $17 plus tax, because y'all know they're not letting you get away with not paying tax. Okay, so that's just for the foam itself. So if you were to buy that from Walgreens for $17, let's say we didn't have that 60% off code tonight, right? That should at least be a $40 card. By the time you actually spend some energy picking out people's snacks and placing it in there and hopefully not burning yourself with a low temp hot glue gun. And then out there, people are out there hunting for these lids, y'all. And I gave you all the link for them in Craft to Quit. I think I never sent the link. I'm gonna send the link over to YouTube as well. It may not let me do it. All right, okay. All right, y'all. So I'm going to meet y'all over on the YouTube side now because it's 9 o'clock. I got to go. I love you and I appreciate you dearly. And I will see y'all in like literally 10 seconds. Bye.